welcome to it's episode number 40 of the Have Aloha Will Travel podcast. Kat, we've done so many episodes.
It's almost my age.
Oh, I know, our podcast is in its 40s now.
Wow, then it's downhill from here, let me tell you.
We're going nowhere but up. And we're going nowhere but up because this segue went poorly because Kayla Rivera is with us today. She is HAWAIʻI Magazine's art director. I'm Kevin Allen, your co-host, with me as always.
Oh, me, Catherine Toth Fox. This is the entirety of HAWAIʻI Magazine right here. I mean, with the exception of our digital person, but yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty much it. This is what brings you the website and the content in the magazine and everything in the magazine. We're pretty much the driving force. This is episode 40. We're doing it nice and early in the morning, which is why my mind is wandering a little bit. Can I just say, I had a terrible sleep last night.
Why?
Ami, my cat, was, we have a chicken wire fencing because we live pretty high up and we don't want her to just jump off the lanai. And she was making so much noise. I gotta bleep that. She was making so much heckin' noise on that fence. And so I took her off the lanai, or Kayla, my girlfriend, did, and then we closed the door because she kept going out to hit the fence. And then she started meowing at the door the whole time. And that was at like 2 a.m. And I had one of those like half conscious, half awake, half asleep sleeps until I woke up. So
what was she making noise about? Did you figure it out?
There was a baby gecko on the other side.
Oh.
And cats love geckos.
Wow. These are Kevin problems.
Yeah, they really are.
I know, if you don't like that, don't have a baby.
Planning not to for quite some time. I've got my hands more than full.
That pales in comparison to my crazy night of people like screaming and saying there's blood everywhere and please help me and calling cops. That was my crazy night.
Literally everyone who has a baby at home is like, that's nothing.
Oh, I don't know. I think screaming, crying people.
Well, screaming that's scary. But the cat, yeah.
Well, you know what people are screaming about? The new issue of HAWAIʻI Magazine.
Oh, that was terrible.
That one was pretty good. It is. What is this? Our September-October issue.
Yes.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Wish you were here.
It's September.
It is September. We do wish you were here. I love that cover, can I just say? I think that's
a good cover.
We normally don't put, in a little inside baseball, we normally don't put people on our covers, but this one we do have a person.
Well,
on.
not lately.
Not lately.
Think if you are a longtime subscriber to HAWAIʻI Magazine, we used to put a lot of people on the covers before, and then we stopped.
Yeah, so we're here to kind of give everyone a little sneak peek into this September-October issue. We'll be talking about some of the stories that are inside, as well as the stories that were behind making the stories, which is great because most of them were written by myself and Catherine and were put together by Kayla. So we literally know everything about all of these stories.
I want to talk about the cover, though, real quickly. So just a little bit of insider. This is just like, you know how you go to a restaurant and they have a secret menu that you have to be in the know. So for our podcast listeners, I'll just tell you. So this beach is in Waimea. I go to this beach all the time. It's not very frequented because it's a very small. I mean, this is it. That's the stretch of sand that you can basically hang out on by yourself. By the way, if you're on Oahu right now, that's the new stay-at-home order. But so she's not breaking quarantine.
Yeah, her ankles are technically in the water, so.
Yeah, true. But anyway, so like at a high tide, there's no beach. It's just basically, it comes right up to this naupaka, the brush here. But this is where President Obama is building his home around this area. This would be his view, just FYI. A little insider information there.
When you've been the president of the United States, you get to have a pretty nice view.
Yeah.
Is he building his home?
Well, except they're having,
Is he building the home, or is it like a pre-existing?
well, and not himself, but no, it's being built. They cleared the land, it's beachfront, and you can drive on Kalanaʻanaʻole Highway and see the action. I'm sure they're going to build like a huge wall, but you can see right now the footprint of the house and everything. But what's crazy is they, in the process of construction, they found EV, which is, bones. And so that's a big thing in Hawaii, right? You don't mess with bones. If you find bones in your construction site, you stop construction. You got to figure it out. There's even an EV council that's a part of the government, right? That's a story we should do. Kevin, write that down. Anyway, so his construction has been stalled on his home. Anyway.
Shucks. Sorry, Obama.
A little bit of, yeah.
Sorry. Barry, yeah. Is that his name? Is that what you call him?
They call him, I think.
At lunch, Barry.
Barry.
All right, Kat, did you want to start us off? I have a few stories lined up, but
Sure. So this is our September-October issue. If you are a subscriber, you would have already received this. It's on newsstands right now wherever our magazine is sold, and you can also go on our website, HAWAIIMagazine.com, and buy the current issue. So there's plenty of ways to obtain it if you haven't already. So a couple of stories that I think we wanted to point out. The main feature of this story is on hidden Hawaii Island, and that's a story that Kevin and I had done actually a while ago because this was before the travel ban.
I think
before the travel ban.
I traveled with Aaron Yoshino, our photographer, to the Big Island in February to do this story. And that was, gosh, it's so funny talking about this because that was such a different time, We were in an airport and we were looking at the news and being like, oh, I think this coronavirus thing is getting kind of serious. And we were like, huh, is it weird that we're in an airport right now about to get on a plane? And wow, I'm looking at the Big Island story as well. I don't have a physical magazine to look at, but you guys.
You know what's crazy about this, the Big Island story? I mean, during that time, I remember when we were talking about coronavirus and the big joke, and it's not even funny anymore, and it's only been like 5 months, was like, oh, it's like the Bud Light virus. Remember that dumb joke?
I remember, and it's so not funny anymore.
No, it's so lame. It's actually a lame joke. But anyway, I just remember that was like what people were saying around the office and all the memes that were going around about the coronavirus.
Or like people are like, well, what's the cure to the coronavirus? Drinking some Heinekens,
Yeah, exactly.
And
it's
now
so
that
dumb.
is like...
Anyway, we decided to do Hidden Hawaii Island. This was actually a feature that we were going to run in the summertime, and we decided to hold it for the September-October issue. And, anytime we do hidden, destinations in Hawaii, it's always kind of tricky because, as we all know, we're not like a huge place, we're pretty small. And then when you get to hidden Hawaii Island, Hawaii is such a huge place that it's hard to cover it. So that was a big challenge. So we had decided prior to even researching that we were going to kind of focus on several things, several places or businesses or parks or whatever on Hawaii Island, and kind of do a little bit of a deeper dive instead of doing 150 things to do.
Yeah.
And I thought it worked out really well. So Kevin, you spent, was it 2 days on Hawaii Island or was it just overnight?
I think it was 2 or 3. It was 3 days, 2 nights.
Okay.
I think. Yeah. And,
I think so. Yeah.
And it was, you're right. Normally when we do these hidden guides, they are like these big guides, where we have we list 40 businesses and a bunch of activities. But this one, I think we listed 8. And I spent a lot of time, you know what, man, covering Hawaii Island, you spend a lot of time driving. That trip was so much driving. But I think the really great thing about this hidden Hawaii Island feature is that, man, Hawaii Island is actually hidden, I feel like when we do some of these features, it's hidden in air quotes, but Hawaii Island is super hidden. A lot of these businesses are actually hidden and hard to find and really cool.
Well, it's funny because when we were talking about even covering the island, I mean, Kayla too, when we're talking about photography, we normally do a day in or we stay overnight, and we were like, there's no way to cover all of Hawaii Island in 2 days. There's just physically no a way to do, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah. It's called the Big
It's
Island
big.
for a reason.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean,
So-
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, just tell me which stories kind of stood out to you. Like, was there any surprises or anything
Yeah.
that you didn't know about until you got there?
Yeah, definitely. The Waimea Butcher Shop, I really enjoyed. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a butcher shop in Waimea. But it's a whole animal butcher shop, so they literally use every single piece of the animal, which I thought was really cool. Yeah, there it is right there. And the owner, super nice guy. I mean, I really like doing these stories because I get to talk to a lot of people and meet like a lot of really cool people. And this guy was great. He was like this big dude from, Texas. He looked like a butcher. He really burly kind of guy, but actually before he started this butcher shop, he was he sung in a choir.
Choir? Did you say choir?
Choir. He sung in a choir.
How do you not know how to pronounce that word?
Look, man, I write words, I don't say them. Yeah, he sung in a choir, and he actually went to school for music, and then he actually got his start in food as a singing waiter, and then his buddy who worked in the restaurant that he worked in let him come back in the kitchen and he showed him the ropes, and that's kind of how he got his culinary start, which I thought was super cool. Like I love hearing stories like that. That's really my favorite kind of stuff. And also the butcher shop was great. He treated us, Aaron and I, to some really, really good, really, really good barbecue. So it's great when you
that's
get
up in Waimea.
Yeah, you also covered some stuff on Hawaii Island.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I get excited about native birds.
Yeah, you do.
I'm a birder, so I was able to, I had flew to Hawaii Island earlier. Actually, I went on vacation for a day to go check out this bird trail. And, if anybody knows much about our Endangered Species Act, it really started with a bird on Hawaii Island, actually, the palila. That's the bird that started this whole Endangered Species Act that's across the U.S. And so there's a forest discovery trail on Mauna Kea where you can, I wouldn't say it's a guarantee to see palila, but I don't know, every time I've done it, you can see it, and it's pretty beautiful. It's only a mile loop, so even if you just want to go for a nature walk into a native ecosystem, it's really beautiful, and it's free, and it's right off the main highway there. And then I also went to the Monk Seal Hospital in Keahole Point, which I think you told me about.
Yeah, I had gone.
You hadn't gone, or
I had gone for a press trip a while ago. I never wrote about it, though.
Yeah, the only unfortunate thing was, not unfortunate, I shouldn't say that, is that you can't really go and see the monk seals.
Oh, yeah.
You can see them through video cameras that are set up because they don't want the seals to have too much human interaction, because they are fully planning to, bring these seals back to their native habitat. And so even with the minimal human contact with them. So that was interesting, but they're doing really amazing work. So I thought that was cool. And you can go on tour, and it's different, it's kind of a different look into Hawaii Island and what they're doing out there. Kayla, was there anything that when you were designing the book, and so obviously you're reading the stories, but was there anything new to you? You're not really that familiar with Hawaii Island, yeah?
I am not. A lot of them were new to me. And I felt like Kevin went with the right person. Aaron, I think, knows a lot of Hawaii Island, so I think that turned out really good. But yeah, I was surprised by a lot of the stuff.
Did you have a favorite? Is it one of mine?
I always like the retail stuff. I like to shop. So that was cool. But I thought that Aloha Mondays was really cool. I would really want to try there.
Yeah, Aloha Mondays is a really great restaurant.
That wasn't even on our original list, right? Because that was a place that
Aaron just knew about.
That Aaron had known about and took you to eat, right? That was cool.
Yeah, that place is great. They change their menu every single day. They use only the freshest stuff. And Kayla I don't want to give too much away. Kayla talked about the retail stuff. I went to this place called Hanaho. Maybe this is the last thing I'll talk about. Hanaho, not Hanaho Hilo, just Hanaho. that went back and forth a lot in edit. Hanaho is a really cool shop. They sell like a lot of like locally made accessories and goods and clothing. But what I really thought was special is their I kind of forget the name. Lapaka hats.
Apollo? The hats?
Yeah.
Yeah, the hat.
The hats. They're made from these Lauhala hats are made from the Hala strips, which is kind of that like tan, fibrous looking strip of plant. I don't know how to describe plant stuff.
This is a terrible description. I thought you were the word guy. I thought you weren't the...
I am just not speaking sometimes. But anyways, these hats are made by these like Lauhala like masters, like these it's the mother of it's a daughter and mother who run the shop, and it's a mother who makes these hats with her circle, and they are like Lauhala like masters. Like they've been doing this for years and years and years and decades, and these hats go for like thousands of dollars. Like they are no joke. Yep. But she explained it to me in a really great way that put it in perspective. Like, you know, some people buy like a Rolex and it's like an heirloom, you know? It's like something you pass down among generations. It's something you give to your kids and they give to their kids. These hats should be treated the same way. It's like something that gets passed down along generations. So I thought that was really cool.
Cool.
Okay.
I remember hearing about Hanaho from when we did our locals guide. Do you guys remember that? And Kuha'o, Zane, kind of mentioned it when we asked him like what was one of his like favorite spots or places to go. I remember him talking about it then. So seeing you guys do a story on it now, I think was really cool because it sounded really interesting. I would definitely go there.
I believe the mother of the store is Kuha'o Zane's sister.
The mother of the store.
So
is
and
Kuha'o's sister?
Yeah, and then I guess the daughter would be Kuha'o's niece.
Niece?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, there's some big
islands. Well, Hilo is a small town.
Hilo is a very small town.
Small town.
Great. Well,
so there's Huh?
Oh, go ahead, Kat. Sorry.
No. I was going to say there's another story in here that our intern wrote, and she's no longer our intern, Kayla Smith. Oh, we miss her.
I do. She was so good, man.
Yeah. Have you been following her on Instagram? Man, her art is so good. Anyway, speaking of her art, so she's like an illustrator, kind of moonlighting as an illustrator, but we knew this, and so we had her create the opener illustration for her own story. So it's the September-October issue. We thought we'd do something fun for our ho'omaka, which is our opener to the contents of the book. And we had her interview Lopaka Kapanui, who's been a storyteller in Hawaii. He's really known for his ghost stories, let's be real, for over about 20 years. And a lot of, local folks may remember Glenn Grant, who's written a bunch of books about, opake, which is the Japanese ghost, and local, ghost stories. And he was really famous for his ghost tours. Well, anyway, Lopaka studied under Glenn Grant. Glenn Grant has since passed away. And he's sort of taken up this torch, right, of doing these ghost tours. Except if you've ever met him, and we have a video, we can link to that in our show notes, but he's he's such a good storyteller. He's very persuasive, and he tells these great stories, and he kind of sucks you in. So she was really a little hesitant to meet him. She kind of gets spooked out about stuff. And she went on you know how I like to make people do things that make them uncomfortable?
That's your favorite thing to do.
Oh, I love it. You have no idea. Kevin, we were talking about you in a meeting yesterday about all the things I want to have you do. Anyway, so I had her go on this ghost tour, and I think she enjoyed it. I mean, she was kind of spooked out, but anyway, so we have a story about Lopaka, his ghost tours, which despite the quarantine, right now it's not running because he's considered a non-essential, but when that ban is hopefully lifted soon, he's definitely on track to be doing these ghost tours in October, just in time for Halloween. Anyway, I'm excited about it. I'm super into, I don't really like ghosts personally, like as a hobby. but these ghost stories are always so interesting to me.
Yeah, and I thought Kyla's illustration did such a good job. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, Kayla, you know how long it takes to like illustrate something. I mean, it's really a great little piece.
Yeah, together me and her kind of planned it out, and she executed it like perfectly, and I loved it. Yeah, she was great, and this is great. I'm excited for her.
She drew a picture of us.
I was thinking like maybe, huh?
She drew a picture of us on our last breakfast. Remember that?
I know.
Oh yeah.
I know.
So sad.
Yeah.
That was cute. We should talk about ghost stories. I think we should save it for like its own podcast, though. Don't you think? Like
we should get Lopaka on a podcast.
Oh, that'd be so exciting! Because I can tell you some. Well, I was actually there's I forget the name of the podcast now. Anyway, it's a national podcast that interviewed me about some ghost stories. I don't know how they heard about it. Well, how they heard about my ghost stories.
Ghosts are like drawn to you, Kat.
Oh.
I mean, the living and the dead. Come on.
Your personality is just so annoying.
You know, they all want a piece of it. What can I say?
Well, you know what I want a piece of is one of these malasadas you were writing about.
Kevin.
Dude, that was I'm like literally on fire.
Yeah, the best segues.
I'm literally.
I mean, okay. So most people know I have this like slight obsession about malasadas.
Oh, it's not slight.
So, if you don't know what malasadas are, so this is a story, and it's specifically about a food truck in Kailua on Oahu called Agnes Bake Shop. Let me tell you about malasadas just for a little bit. Let me give you a primer in malasadas. So, malasadas are these deep fried, basically donuts, right? They're kind of yeast based. It's crispy on the outside because it's deep fried. And it's got that chewy, doughy middle, and then it's doused or rolled in white sugar. And Leonard's Bakery in Kapahulu is probably the most famous in Hawaii for making malasadas. But there are plenty of other places that make malasadas. Pipeline Bake Shop in Kaimuki, for example, is one of the newer ones. Even Zippy's makes malasadas now.
Oh.
And you'll get them at like fairs, like Punahou Carnival, for example, is really famous for its malasadas. And I grew up eating it because my grandmother is Portuguese. It is a Portuguese dessert. It doesn't come from Portugal. It comes from the Azores, which are islands off of Portugal, where the majority of the immigrants from Portugal to Hawaii came. So a lot of people who are born and raised in Hawaii who have Portuguese descent oftentimes can trace their lineage to Madeira and the Azores, which are these islands. So you'll find them there. But Agnes Bake Shop was a long-time bakery in Kailua that the owner decided to close after about 50 years. And this guy, Ryan Katsuno, was actually a Hawaiian airline flight attendant. He had been going there his whole life, and he was like so brokenhearted when they heard Agnes was going to shut down that he approached the owner and convinced them to sell him the name and the recipe. I mean, there's a little bit of a longer story between that. But anyway, he ended up with the recipe. It took him like months with the owner like trained him. If you're Portuguese, you know this is a long process, and he was probably very anal about it, and trained him how to make their specialty Portuguese style malasadas.
And these malasadas are different than your average malasada, right? They are made differently? They're
well, I mean,
crunchier?
I would imagine the ingredients for all malasadas are relatively the same, but it's handmade, and you can tell because there's like a little hole in the middle of the malasada. It's the way that you drop it into the oil, essentially. And that's like a very throwback technique. You'll find this at like fairs a lot or carnivals, but what I like about it is that there's more surface area for the oil to crisp up the dough, so you get more crispy stuff. That's the best part. So I'm a little partial.
So it's like a crispy malasada.
That sounds really good,
right? I know. They're open, except for Sundays. They're open today, Kayla. If you want to head out there, I'm super down.
Do they offer
Never tried that.
Any flavors?
Sorry, Kayla.
No, so they're very traditional, except if you're in the know, you can request cinnamon sugar. It's kind of an off-the-menu option. But he's pretty I asked him not that long, he called me up one day, and I asked him, are you going to do anything else? Because Leonard's does cinnamon sugar, and they do filled donuts, and then Pipeline does a coffee dusted malasada. He said no. Like, he's gonna stick to traditional malasadas, but he's thinking about adding other bakery items to the menu, like other pastry items. So,
okay. Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
are you not a malasada guy? Are you an Oreo person, which is so random to me? I would have not taken you as an Oreo guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like malasadas, but they're not my go-to. They're a little, I mean, honestly, I actually think I would like these a lot more because the thing about malasadas is that they're too fluffy. Like, I don't really like the fluff. I like a crunch, That's why I like Oreos. They're crunchy. Crunchy on the outside, nice on the inside. But, like, the Leonard's one, they're so fluffy, I want something to crunch into.
So you're not like a donut person?
Nah, not so much. I'm a scone guy. That's what it says on my business card. Kevin Allen, scone guy.
Why don't we do a story on scones? Like, hello, we have so many places that make awesome scones.
We do. Oh man, Waiʻi Tea House has the best scones.
Waiʻi Kitchen. Yes. Okay, so where's your favorite scone place? I know we're kind of going off topic, but this is important stuff.
Waiʻi, yeah, is it Waiʻi Kitchen now?
Waiʻi Kitchen and Bake Shop, right? Or something like that. It used to be Waiʻi Tea Room.
Yeah,
They changed the name.
Okay, yeah, that place, and it's in Manoa. Man, Kyle and I were going there like every single weekend because you had really turned us on to it. And
really?
Yeah, it's super good. And the scones are,
their
scones are so good. Their blueberry cream cheese one is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Do you like the crunchy scones, or like Diamond Head Bakery, which is kind of near in Waikiki, outside of Waikiki? They have a blueberry cream cheese scone, but it's really cakey, and do you know what I mean? It's like huge and it's very cakey.
I kind of like a tough but like more doughy. Like I kind of want I don't want it a super flavorful scone because most of the time it's a accoutrement to my coffee.
Oh, really? Really? You can't say choir, but that word comes out of your mouth.
It's my accoutrement to my coffee. So I don't want like my scone to overpower my coffee. They've got to blend perfectly.
Kayla, do you have a scone recommendation?
Oh, I mean, so far, I do like Waiʻi Kitchen. Yeah, I haven't really had too much scones. I love desserts, but yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely a malasada person. Yeah, I love malasada.
Where's your favorite malasada? Is it Leonard's?
Yeah, I love Leonard's, but I have to have it when it's hot. That's the thing. Like, if somebody buys it and then drives it across the island to me and it's like already cooled down and soggy, it's not my favorite.
Yeah,
you have to have it when it's hot.
It doesn't travel well. And also, you know what's interesting? Both Kevin and I have eaten here, which is kind of crazy. There is a malasada place in Laie. We should have gone last time we were in Kahuku, but
Penny's.
It's called Penny's. Yeah, Penny's malasada. Actually, really good.
Penny's is really good. Yeah, they have really good malasadas.
They do.
And they have a lot of flavors. If that's your thing, like fillings, they have a lot of fillings.
Yeah, I'm not into the fillings. I just like them traditional.
Yeah, purist.
Me too.
All right, we got maybe enough time to talk about like one little more story. I know we have a Leica Local in the back of the issue. This is our second Leica Local.
No, it's like our fourth Leica Local. Kevin.
Like a fourth or fifth, yeah.
Time is meaningless.
Fourth, maybe.
This one's about Lihimui.
Yes. You know what inspired this, actually? I read a New York Times article about was it about cracked seed or Lihimui in particular, but it talked a little bit about, how the origin of these like seed products in China. And then I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder if it's not something, I guess, that most people aren't, not familiar with, like our readers may not know, but it's so prevalent everywhere. Like you can get lihing on everything. And if you're not familiar with the flavor, it is kind of hard to describe.
Yeah,
I guess.
It's it's like something when I think about, my mouth waters because it's like very tangy. Oh, fun fact, another secret off the menu thing. If you're ever in a 7-Eleven and you're buying anything, you can ask the cashier for a packet of lihimoi.
Yes.
And they have packets right behind the counter and they'll give it to you, like for free.
Yeah.
So if you want to...
I know.
Yeah, lihimoi is a strange flavor, though. It's really hard to describe. It's very tangy.
Salty.
It's
sweet.
Sweet, salty. It's
sour.
Like... Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to describe, but man, it's on everything here. And like, as a kid, I remember eating a lot of lihimoi, even though like there was that rumor that said it would give you cancer or whatever.
I never heard
that too. I've heard that.
Really?
I think it was.
I mean, it didn't deter me from eating
No,
it
I still ate a
whatsoever.
ton of lihimoe.
Also, let's not say it causes cancer because we don't know if that's
I said it was a rumor.
okay. Good.
It was a very
Yeah.
unsubstantiated, like, elementary school playground rumor.
Was it the color? That's why the color
Yeah,
dye,
it was the
that
color
number
dye.
40 or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Okay.
But I don't
That
think that's
makes sense.
true.
You know, how do you like your lihing? I mean, do you guys eat the seed or do you guys use the powder? And then how do you use it? Like, what's your favorite way to use or eat lihing?
I eat it.
On gummy bears, for
Oh,
sure. For
gummy
me.
bears is good.
On gummy bears.
Yeah, I do the powder and I put it on pineapple. Pineapple's really good.
Oh, I love it on pineapple.
Yeah, because pineapple's so sweet, and then it adds like a good little balance. What about you, Kat?
Lihing. Well, my favorite way of eating lihing is in a margarita.
Lihing margaritas are really good.
But like hardly
That's a good
anyone
one.
makes those. It's hard to find them, and I don't really drink that much. But like lihing margaritas are like my jam.
Haleiwa
It's
Joe's
100% my jam.
on the
Huh?
North Shore. Haleiwa Joe's, they do a really good lihing margarita.
Too far, and I have to drive back. No,
Yeah.
it's got to be like in town where it's easier.
Good point.
Yeah, gummy bears, pineapple for sure. You know, they do make a lihing dusted malasada at Leonard's.
Oh.
It's interesting. Actually, I've
That's
had it
right.
at I feel like I've had it somewhere else, like at the Halekulani or some like fancy hotel where they presented a malasada. Maybe it was the Kahala Hotel, I don't remember. But they dusted it with lihing, and I was like, that's so crazy. Anyway, it was actually pretty good. I was not unhappy with it.
Okay, well, I think we
That
should
it?
call it an episode. I think that might be it. But Kat,
Oh,
work.
Kayla, do you have the
Yeah.
bag? Oh, shucks.
I don't have the bag. I have to pick it up today, but
Oh,
from the office.
man.
But
We
I
have
don't
new
have it on
bags.
me.
We have new
We're gonna be,
bags.
putting up on our Shopify. Do you want me to go get it?
No, we don't have the time.
All right.
Well, I'll post it up in the show notes. But everyone can find all of our content at HawaiiMagazine.com. You can find all of our social media channels at Hawaii Magazine on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. We're Hawaii Magazine everywhere. Please like and subscribe to our podcast, which you can find on Spotify, SoundCloud, and iTunes, as well as any of your other podcast hosts. Buy some of our products on Shopify, where you can also buy the magazine. I know. Wish you were here. And I think that's it from us.
That is it.
That is it.
yeah.
Okay, everybody. Thanks again, Kayla, for being on the episode, and thank you all for listening so much. Mahalo.
Bye.
See ya.